What do I have to say to keep you by my side? Heart is starting to liquefy. Need you here to tell me that I'll be okay.
Hi guys, welcome to this video. If you're new here, my name is Rachelle. Today in this video, I will be reading A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the summer, and I have been planning to do a reading vlog for this book for the longest time. And here it is. I am finally filming this vlog. This book is the fourth book of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. In the main series of A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a trilogy, we actually follow Feyre. However, this book completely deviates from the main series because in this book we follow Nesta, who is Feyre's older sister. She is the eldest of 3 siblings. We follow Nesta after her whole journey in books 2 and 3, where she gets thrown into a bathtub, also known as the cauldron, and she comes out of the cauldron as something she wasn't before. She's no longer human and she comes out to be one of the High Fae, which she despises. So in this book, I'm guessing we learn a little bit more about what happened and what she experienced inside the cauldron, and her journey as she embraces becoming one of the High Fae. And I believe she will also embrace this connection between herself and Cassian, who is one of Rhysand's best friends and the commander of his army. In fact, Cassian is not one of the High Fae. He is actually an Illyrian. I absolutely love this series so much. I actually started reading this series in like May of this year. The first book, which is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, was actually my least favorite, but after that, the second book onwards was when I became hooked, and of course that's also when I fell in love with the series. So that is why I cannot wait to read this book. And this book is a chunker. I believe this book is at least 700 pages, maybe a little bit more. This book being a longer one makes me so happy because not only does that mean that it's a longer story, but there's also more character development and more events. And seeing that I am a fan of the series, you know that makes me very happy. Oh my god, you have no idea how excited I am to read from Nesta's perspective. I know some people don't like Nesta's character, but honestly, I don't love or hate her yet. I mean, I don't really like the way she's been acting in the series so far, but I really don't know enough about why she is the way she is, and therefore I can't really judge. But I am so ready for this book, and I'm sure I'll end up liking Nesta in the end because I already love pretty much all the characters in this series so far. Honestly, Nesta deserves justice. I honestly don't think this reading vlog will be spoiler free, just because I have a strong feeling that I'm gonna have a very hard time doing that because of how much I love this series. Yeah, so if you have read this book already, I hope you enjoy my first time reactions. But if you haven't, grab yourself a copy of this book and let's read it together. Before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon to stay up to date of when and what I post, and give this video a thumbs up. And with that, let's just get into this reading vlog. Stop! This book starts when Nesta enters the cauldron. The line is, she knew she was going into the cauldron, knew she would lose this fight, knew no one was coming to save her. Not sobbing Feyre, not Feyre's gagged former lover, not her devastated new mate. That makes me so sad.
I know that I don't feel okay. I hate it cause it's every day. I'm making up my own mistakes. I'm hoping that I'll be replaced. I'm waiting cause you're in my way. I hate it cause
Oh, okay. I am on page 22 and Rhys just told Nesta to sit down, shut up, and listen. Not gonna lie, that was kind of hot. Okay, so on the next page, Feyre says this to Rhys. You can either leave or you can stay and keep your mouth shut. I actually kind of love how Feyre is talking back to Rhys because I don't think something like that has ever happened yet, at least since they became mates. Alright, so I literally just finished chapter 1. That is page 24, and so far I'm kind of realizing what's going on with Nesta. Right now I feel like Nesta's using alcohol and sex as like a defense mechanism to numb herself in a way to cope with what happened in the war, and I feel like she's using those things to suppress her magic and her powers as well. Within the first chapter you can see that she has so much regret and she just blames herself for what happened to Elaine. Elaine turning into Fae by the cauldron like herself, and her dad dying at the hands of the King of Hybern. And this kind of just makes sense about how she's been acting so far. This is why I love the character development in this series, because there's always a reason to why someone acts the way they do. Last night I read a couple more chapters. I am currently on page 62. Yeah, I didn't read much. I was just so exhausted yesterday that I couldn't keep my eyes open. So hopefully today I can get through more of the book. Yeah, so let's just get reading.
I stood up at the dark side of the blue, looking out for a half sight to the truth. 'Cause don't it feel like a wind-up doll just left on the loose? Now the only consolation prize.
Alright guys, it has been quite some time since I last talked to you guys. I'm currently on page 124, which is the beginning of chapter 11. The first thing I want to say about this book is that so far, up until what I've read, the pacing of the book is pretty slow. What's really strange is that usually when books have a slow pacing, I usually get a little bit bored and lose interest in the story until it actually starts picking up. But with this book, for some reason, I'm like fully engaged into the story even though the pacing is slow. I really don't know why this book is different for me, but you know, I'm not complaining because in my opinion, it also means that this story is really well written. Something I also really like about this book so far is the constant intercut and repetition of memories of events that happened in earlier books. For example, Elaine entering the cauldron and various memories of Nesta's father. I just love how Sarah J Maas weaves these moments into the story. It's just a really good reminder of the horrors that Nesta struggles with. Also, although it makes me sad right now that Cassian and Nesta are on not so good terms, I actually kind of find their back and forth banter kind of funny. It's just how sassy and arrogant Nesta is, and Cassian takes it, but he also returns it back to her. Alright guys, it is now a little bit later. I have time to read a little bit more, so let's just jump right into A Court of Silver Flames. Oh my god. Nesta's talking about Rhysand and she's like, I hate him. And then Cassian's like, he hates you too. Everybody hates you. Is that what you want? Because congratulations, it happened. And then Nesta fires back, and I suppose you'll tell me that you're the only one who doesn't hate me? And then Cassian's literally like, no, I'm done. But then Nesta's like, does this mean you're done panting after me as well? Because what a relief that will be to finally know you've taken the hint. I can't believe Nesta actually said that to Cassian. Aaron told Cassian to keep reaching his hand out to Nesta, and that's what he's been doing so far. But then after this incident, Cassian begins to believe that Aaron was wrong. I feel so bad for Cassian. Okay, so I just read a couple more pages, and Cassian is gonna try one more time to train Nesta. Nesta and Cassian don't like each other very much, but I can already feel that there's something there and they're gonna get super close, and I can't wait for it. Okay, so I'm currently on page 154, and it is the first time they're mentioning the Valkyries. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not sure if I am. Anyways, I have a theory that the Valkyries will play a significant role later on in the book. I think that because of one of the facts that Gwen told Nesta about the Valkyries, she said that they have 3 stages of training: Novice, Blade, and finally Valkyrie. If I'm remembering, the title of part 1 of this book is Novice. So I feel like the title of part 1 is in some way associated with the first level of training for the Valkyries. Maybe part 2 would be labeled Blade and part 3 will be labeled Valkyrie. I don't know, that's just my theory. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I guess only time will tell. Alright friends, it is late at night now. The plan for tonight is to read one more chapter or 2 if possible before I go to sleep. You know how I said Cassian got advice from Amber to keep reaching out your hand? Well, Cassian just gave that exact same advice to Nesta for something she wants to do. I love that so much. They just had their first kiss. You have no idea how happy I am right now. Right now, where I'm at in the book, Elaine just offered to do something so brave. She offered to help find the Dread Trove using her powers, which is very unusual for her because she also struggled with accepting herself as Fae. Yeah, so she offered to help do this very brave thing, and Nesta's like, no, you are not going near anything made by the cauldron. And when Elaine just doesn't back down from the task, Nesta says this to her: maybe you'll become interesting at last, Elaine. Nesta really is just being a bitch right now. No freaking way. Feyre is pregnant! each part of the book is named after the 3 stages of training of the Valkyries. At this point in the book, I still don't know what part the Valkyries play in this story, so I'm really hoping that later on in the book, the story will reveal more about why the Valkyries are so important.
Darling,
Hello friends, welcome to a new day. I feel like it's been a while since I last updated you guys with my progress in the book so far, so I thought I would just share with you a little bit about my thoughts right now. Something I never really liked about Nesta is her personality. She's just such a bitch. But then there's also moments where Nesta does something super nice, and then you're just like, I love that she did that, or I love that she's willing to do that. She might just be one of the most relatable characters because there's parts you can love about her and there's parts you can hate about her. Like all of us, she's not entirely perfect, and you can definitely see that in the book. Oh, can we also talk about this friendship she's developing with Gwen and Emery? Those 2 people are literally the only people Nesta is nice to. But what I really love is how Nesta has 2 people who see her as herself when they met instead of who she was in the past or what she became. And I feel like that's kind of why Nesta has an ugly personality, just because characters like Farah and Reese, they knew her history and who she was before the war and before she became Fae. So I really like how with Gwen and Emery, Nesta kind of gets like a fresh start and we just get to see a new side of her. Alright, so that is the update I have for you guys, so let's just jump right into reading this book. I'm really kind of liking Nesta a little bit more now. She's finally attempting to find the Dread Trove by using her powers, and she's like, I couldn't stop thinking about those priestesses who came to practice today. I am asking them to be brave, to work hard, to face their fears, yet I'm not doing the same. And I might fear this scrying, but I fear being a cowardly hypocrite even more. Ah, Nesta! I love that so much about her character. Oh my god. Nesta is on fire. It's not regular fire, it's silver fire. Listen to this. The fire radiated cold. Cassian had never heard of such power amongst the High Fae. Fire, yes, but fire with warmth, not this icy, terrible twin. That is really intense. I just read a little bit more, and Reese is talking about Nesta's power, and he's like, her power is death. Pure death. The power of pure death sounds so scary. The book says, fear clouded the face of the High Lord of the Night Court. The fact that Reese is terrified of Nesta and her powers says something. Holy crap. That was an explosive chapter. I just finished chapter 31 and Nesta tried scrying again, but this time, however, though, Nesta's mental shields were a fortress of solid iron. Reese wasn't able to get into her head to stop the scrying like he did the last time. So to stop Nesta's power, Cassian kissed her and it worked, but I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of weird. Hello friends, it is so much later. I just took my shower and I am about ready to go to bed. So while I wait for my hair to dry, I thought I would just read a little bit more of my book. It's actually kind of late right now, so I think I'm only gonna get through 1 or 2 chapters. I love this line so much. If she were to run, it would be towards him, not away. Towards Cassian. Oh, Nesta and Cassian are actually really cute together. Alright, so I just read 2 chapters and I'm gonna stop there because I am pretty exhausted. I cannot believe I am stopping here right now because where I'm at right now in the book, Cassian, Azrael, and Nesta are in Orid, and Nesta just got pulled into the water by the Kelpie. And Cassian and Azrael don't know she's under the water yet. They just realized she's gone, that she's no longer where Cassian left her. Also, this thought just came to me. I don't know why it came to me so late, but I'm confused about Reese and Farah's baby. I mean, he's quarter Illyrian because Reese is half Illyrian. So because the baby is only a quarter Illyrian, he is less likely to have wings at birth. But the baby does have wings because he was conceived when Farah was in full Illyrian form. So does that make the baby 3/4 Illyrian instead of a quarter Illyrian? Am I just overcomplicating this and confusing myself? right now in the book, Nesta's in the waters of the Kalpai, and she just slammed the Dread Trove mask onto her face. Well, at least we now know where the mask was located. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the Mask of the Dread Trove does, basically when you wear this mask, you can call upon the dead and control them. And when Nesta wears this mask, the book says she could feel them around her. Feel their long rotted bodies, some mere bones and others preserved, half eaten beneath their ancient armor. That sounds so creepy. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'm currently on page 411, and right now Gwen is leading Nesta through a breathing exercise, I guess to help her calm her mind and body and let go of all the thoughts she's currently dwelling on. And I'm just so happy for Nesta that she now has a friend like Gwen to just be with her while she's battling through all these inner struggles she has. Like after they finish the breathing exercise, it says, and for the first time in her life, she felt utterly settled into her own skin. That line just warms the heart. Throughout this entire story so far, I feel like I've just been getting a better understanding of Nesta, and I know I never used to really like Nesta because of her awful personality and behavior, but I gotta say, now that I'm learning more about her inner battles and what she's struggling through, I am starting to develop a liking for Nesta. Really, I feel like the reason behind her awful behavior is because she harbored so much resentment towards her family. I mean, she practically blames herself for failing to do so many things as the eldest sibling in the family, like protecting her sisters and protecting herself in situations she really had no control over. And I also feel like that may be the reason why she resents Farah a little bit more, because Farah, being the youngest in the family, has been the one to protect them all. All of that being said, I generally feel like Nesta is a really nice and kind person. I just feel like her nasty behavior towards Farah, Reese, and that group is a natural reaction to the way Nesta feels towards Farah and her family, seeing as that Reese and that group was technically Farah's family first. Also, I just really need to say this, but I love this thing going on between Cassian and Nesta. They haven't admitted it yet, but they are so in love with each other. I can't. They're so cute. Alright, so right now, Helion is teaching Nesta how to ward the mask. But while he's teaching her, he's also kind of flirting with her. And Cassian is also there watching this little lesson. And you know, Cassian is getting kind of jealous of Helion right now.
Got too overwhelming, so I started running. It stopped being fun and making myself numb isn't helping. I got to learn to deal with the way I feel. If this is reality, don't know what I expect.
Reese is currently talking about Farah's pregnancy with the group, and the book is like, his next words cracked Cassian's heart. Not just Cassian's heart, because it also cracked my heart. Anyways, Reese says, I didn't realize how much hope I've been holding on to until I saw the pity and fear in their faces. Until Dracon had to embrace me to keep me from falling apart. My heart won't be able to take this if Farah dies from the pregnancy.
Just for a moment, I can't put this down.
I'm currently on page 462 and I think I'm gonna stop here for the night. But anyways, I just finished chapter 43 and I have one thought that I want to share with you guys. I absolutely love the House of Wind and just how it is enchanted. The house literally provides for Nesta and gives everything she wants and needs. When she needs food, the house will give her food, or when she needs a romance book, the house will give her a romance book. Alright friends, I just finished chapter 53 and I am on page 540 right now, but I thought I would pause here for a little bit and give you guys a reading update. With regards to Nesta's character, I definitely feel like I've gotten to the bottom of why she is the way she is, and I honestly believe that Nesta's guilt is eating her alive. She now knows how awful she was and everything she's done was wrong, and you can really see that she hates herself for the things she did. I mean, at one point she even admitted that she was no different than Tamlin. The fact that she said she was just like Tamlin really hurts, because if you guys have read this series, you know that Tamlin is very flawed and such a morally gray character. And right now, what Nesta's feeling is so severe that she feels that she deserves every single consequence coming her way. And at this point, she doesn't care whether she lives or dies. Reading about that makes me so sad because it just confirms how broken Nesta is inside. Holy crap. Eris just asked Reese if Nesta could be his bride. What is going on? I am not okay right now. Nesta just said to Cassian, "You're mine." Nesta and Cassian have my heart. Alright, so I just finished chapter 61. And it is at this point where Nesta is whole again and the best version of herself. Because Airman says, "Welcome back to the night court, Nesta." I'm so proud of my girl Nesta right now. They're mates! They're mates! Cassian and Nesta are mates! Oh my god, Nesta. She is fighting the fact that she and Cassian are mates because she believes that if she accepts that they're mates, she loses her last shred of humanity. Why you gotta break my heart like that, Nesta? Why? Alright friends, it is so much later and I am about to go to bed, but before I do, I thought I would update you on my progress on the book so far. I am currently on chapter 69, which is in part 4 of the book. At this point, Nesta, Gwen, and Emery have been taken to compete in the blood rite, which absolutely shocked me. I really wasn't expecting that to happen. Eris has also been taken by Bryalyn, but it's unsure right now if he's controlled by her through the crown. So of course right now Cassian and Az think he's a traitor, but honestly I'm kind of inclined to give Eris the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's not a traitor but in fact playing Bryalyn. My theory is that he is a double agent. I think he's tricking Bryalyn into thinking that he's working for her when in reality he's still loyal to Reese. That is my guess, but I could be completely wrong. I guess only time will tell. Today will be the day where I finish A Court of Silver Flames. It is currently 7:30 at night and I have just about 100 pages left to read, or a little under 100 pages. Before I start reading, I want to give you guys a little update. In the couple of chapters I read since I last saw you guys, Nesta was a total badass in the blood rite. When the trio was climbing the mountain, they were neck and neck with their enemies, and Nesta was like to Emery and Gwen, "You two are injured and you two won't survive the fight, so you two go ahead and climb the mountain," while she fights and holds off their enemy so they could win the blood rite. And I admire her bravery to do that, but it's so sad because the trio didn't get to win and finish the blood rite together. I guess it was too good to be true for the three of them to finish together. Oh, I just need to say this, but I knew Eris wasn't a traitor. My theory wasn't exactly correct because Eris was captured by Bryalyn and is now controlled by the crown, but I was right about the fact that he didn't betray Reese. Eris can definitely be such an ass, but I don't think even he could stoop that low. Nesta just referred to Cassian as her mate. I am so happy right now. Okay, so I'm currently on page 729 and Farah is currently having some complications with the labor. And it says, Farah was dying, the baby was dying, and Reese would die with them. The whole family's gonna die. I still can't believe Reese and Farah made that bargain to die together. Yes, it can be kind of sweet and romantic that they made that bargain because they're mates and they don't want to live without each other, but they are actually idiots for making that bargain. Oh, damn. Nesta just made a bargain with the cauldron to save Farah's life. That is such a beautiful moment for Nesta. It makes me so happy how much Nesta has grown in this book. I just finished this book and I am not okay. Sarah J. Maas does it again. She wrote a book with such a beautiful ending. I mean, Farah and Reese are both alive and they have a healthy son. Nesta and Cassian are together. And Nesta is finally calling Valeris, the House of Wind, and the Night Court her home. My heart is so content right now because Nesta really did deserve this beautiful story. Alright guys, so I actually bought the Indigo exclusive version of the A Court of Silver Flames. So I am about to start the bonus content, which takes place in Farah's perspective. This chapter actually takes place right after Farah and Reese informed their friends and family that she was pregnant. Okay, so in this chapter, besides a cute romantic moment between Reese and Farah, the important bit of this chapter is how they came up with their son's name. Their son's name is Nyx, and Reese saw the name Nyx in a book. Basically, an ancient night goddess was named Nyx, and Reese liked the sound of her name, so they named their son after her. I am gonna let the story and my thoughts just marinate in my head a little bit, and I will chat with you guys tomorrow about my thoughts on the book and give you guys a mini review. Hello friends, welcome to the next day. For the next little bit, I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts and give you my review on the Court of Silver Flames. I'm going to try to keep this review spoiler free for those of you who have yet to read the book but want to hear my thoughts. So in this book, we follow the events that happened after Highburn. This book was definitely more character driven than it was plot driven. And personally for me, I didn't mind that at all because I love character development and character driven stories are some of my favorites. Something I did notice about this book though is that it was written in the third person from Nesta and Cassian's perspective. This is something different because every book up until this point in the series was written in the first person from Farah's perspective. So this book being written in the third person kind of set it apart from the rest of the series. Originally when I started this book, I noticed a difference and I was like, oh, this is weird. Just because I was so used to this series being written in the first person. But eventually I got used to it and after a couple of chapters, it didn't really bother me anymore. Also, this book definitely felt more mature than the rest of the series. Apart from the steamy erotic content, it does touch upon more heavier topics to create the backstory of characters. I also got to say this, but this book made me love Nesta. I really wasn't the biggest fan of her in the beginning because of her personality, but in this book, we get to see a side of Nesta that we haven't seen before. You really get to understand why Nesta was so bitter in the first couple books of the series. And again, because this book was very character driven, I really love how this book brought you through Nesta's journey to accept her new self and everything she has done. In the beginning of the book, Nesta starts off as this broken individual and she was suppressing her powers and her emotions. But by the end of this book, you get to see Nesta heal, grow, and become whole again. And her journey was absolutely beautiful. I definitely feel like Nesta is a character that a lot of people can relate to because she is someone who has experienced so much pain and anger that it is natural to bottle it all up. And her automatic response is to suppress it and lash out at people. This book also touches upon that important conversation that if you love someone, you can't make it better for them. They have to want it for themselves and they have to want to get better. I absolutely love this book so much and I adore this series. I gave this book 4.5 stars. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have already read this book, let's start a conversation about it in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on the story and I literally need to unwind after reading this book, so let's talk. For those of you who haven't read the book yet but still want to join the conversation, let me know what you like to read and if you would ever start this book or series. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on all my social media and Goodreads if you want to stay up to date with what I'm reading. You can find all the links to my socials in the description box below. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Bye!
Pull the key out the ignition. Run your mouth but I never listen. You hold me back, will never last. Keep talking all your shit. Wondering how all this started. You left me broken hearted. You flip my words, yeah this love hurts. Keep talking all your shit.